Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of the Storytime Society. I'm your host Jamie and I'm so happy you're here. I'm so glad you're alive. Thanks for tuning in to this episode. The theme of this episode is updates only. So let's get into it. Oh, it's also raining outside right now. Setting the ambiance. The title of the first story is Should I Leave My Boyfriend After He Gave Me a Meal with Shrimp, Even Though I'm Allergic, and Left Me Alone in the Hospital? I'm going to go with a premature yes. Hi, everyone. I need some advice because I'm going through a situation that's overwhelming me. I'm 24 years old. I've been in a relationship for 3 years. I've lived with my boyfriend for a year, and for the past few weeks, it's been a bit of a fight after fight, especially since I started a night job, a job I studied for 6 years, and he always knew I would do this job. He doesn't like it because we see each other less, and I sleep during the day while he's working. But that's not even the point. I'm allergic to seafood. The other night, we were invited to a friend's house for a party where everyone had to bring a dish. My boyfriend brought back some spring rolls. I was with my family. I went straight to him. I asked if he made them. He said yes. I tasted them, and I immediately tasted them, and I could tell there was shrimp in them. I asked him, and he replied, "Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you." Luckily, my friend, who is allergic to peanuts, had an EpiPen and gave it to me. But it wasn't enough. My throat started to swell. The ambulance came, and I ended up in the hospital on an IV drip. When I came to, my best friend and parents were there. I asked where my boyfriend was. There was an awkward silence, and they told me, quote, "He went out for a drink with some friends. He said we'd call him when you left." It really pissed me off. My best friend even told me he seemed completely oblivious to the whole thing. When I got home, we had an argument about his behavior. In a fit of anger, I said, "Did you try to kill me or something?" And he replied, "Too bad it failed. At least you wouldn't be annoying me." I went to the room to cry, letting out my hatred from the evening. We haven't spoken for 2 days. The atmosphere is icy, not even an apology, nothing. I tell myself I'm going to leave him, that there's nothing left to save, but I have this doubt in the back of my mind. I talked to my mother, who told me that every relationship goes through problems. But now we're talking about a problem that sent me to the hospital, and I find it really strange that he never eats seafood, so why put it in the dish? Maybe I'm being paranoid. What do you think? Am I being dramatic, or is his behavior serious? The fact that your mom is saying that is crazy to me. Like, oh my God, could people literally give me a break? For the love of God. Not only did he do that, definitely on purpose, but he also said, "Too bad it failed," and he didn't even come to see you in the hospital and make sure he was by your side at all times. That's crazy. And your parents witnessed that, and your mom still said that every relationship goes through problems. Oh my Lord, have mercy. You are definitely not by any means being over dramatic, and you definitely should 100% leave him. He is literally trying to kill you. Okay, genuinely, what's that noise? It's fully daytime, and I think I'm gonna get murdered right now. Relevant comments. So let me start by saying I'm sorry for what's happening to you, but I'm going to go with, what the heck is this question? First of all, that is an accident after 3 years together is serious. Without your friend, you might be dead. And then what he tells you after? But seriously, love yourself and dump him. OP said, "Thank you for this response. In fact, with everything that has happened in my head, I tell myself that maybe it's me who's being dramatic, that I need to take a step back, etc. In short, I'm a little overwhelmed by the situation, and I'm going to leave him, and that's it." Please, yes, thank you. The guy made the spring rolls himself, put in something you're allergic to on purpose, and tells you, quote, "Taste it." You wake up, he's not there. Did he want to kill you? If he were in the USA, you could have sued him for endangering you. You should even consider it. This guy doesn't want what's best for you. Get away from this person ASAP. Who knows what he'll offer you next time? Ditch him. So obviously it's really serious, and it seems like he's doing it on purpose. I just want to point out that adrenaline pens aren't enough. They're used to buy you time, but you still have to go to the hospital after using one. Anyway, ditch him, block him, and don't see him alone if you have to get your stuff back. OP said, "Yeah, I found out when I finished up at the hospital. Unfortunately, the doctor told me that if I'd combined the pills and the pen, maybe it wouldn't have been so bad." Okay, there's a mini update, and it's the same day. Thanks to everyone for your answers. I'm at work right now, but I took the time to read, and you're confirming what I already knew deep down. Tomorrow, I'm going to get my stuff while he's at work, and I'm going to live with my sister while I find an apartment. And yes, my mother isn't a great role model. She has a very old-fashioned mentality and downplays these kinds of situations a lot. Thanks again for your advice and messages. It gave me the courage to make a real decision, even if it stresses me out. But hey, I'll go with my brother to get my stuff just in case. You never know.
If you want extra content weekly, head over to patreon.com/storytimesociety and become a member on there for extra content. Love you.
Please never go to your mom about something ever again, to be honest with you. Like, I feel like in life, there's people that you just know, like, what to go to certain people for. And you just kind of learn, like, okay, what is this person going to have something, like, beneficial to say to me about this situation? And then you know those people that you just, like, don't go to about situations like that. And that girl, like, that mommy is one that you just honestly just, like, love her and don't ask for any advice from that girl because she is scaring me. All right, this is the next day. Quick update from this morning. I finished work at 8 a.m. and a friend came with me to pick up my things. Normally, my boyfriend was supposed to be at work, but unfortunately, he was there. He told me he was sick and asked what I was doing. I calmly told him I was coming to pick up my things and that it was over, that our relationship had to end. He just looked at me and asked my friend to leave so that we could talk about how it was his place. We didn't want him there. Huh? I refused, reminding him that the apartment is also in my name. There are 2 of us on the lease, so if I wanted, he had the right to stay. For an hour, I emptied my things while listening to him call me every name under the sun, my friend and I. He repeatedly told him to speak with his mouth, but hey, we were up against a wall. I grabbed everything and left. I'm going to get legal advice to clarify some things because, to answer those who asked, yes, he knew perfectly well that I was severely allergic to every restaurant. I spent time reading the ingredients, asking questions, etc. For those who asked if it was in his character, no. He was always gentle and caring, so it's very hard to understand what could have happened. But hey, human beings are complex, and I have to remind myself not to dwell on the situation. Yes, I say that to reassure myself. Thank you again to everyone for your messages and support. Someone said you did the right thing by leaving and also getting someone to go with you and having a witness to the insults. Plus, your friend who saw him give you the shrimp spring rolls. Hang in there, block him everywhere, and don't feel bad about the apartment stuff and everything. The sooner you cut ties, the better it will get for you. And then someone also said, no, he's always been sweet and caring, so it's really hard to understand what could have happened. This part is even more freaky. I think a little investigation on him by the cops would be in order. The sweet personalities, but capable of that, are the worst. Damp Blanket said, everyone has its problems, like attempted murder. And I can't wrap my head around the mindset of, like, you see this guy give your wife or your daughter something that could kill her and then not come to the hospital to comfort her. And then she asks you for advice because he said that he wished that it didn't fail. And she still, after all of that, like, that's not even being naive. That's just being, like, neglectful at that point. It's like you're going to tell your daughter that every relationship has problems when that's the problem you're talking about. That is so alarming. Okay, we're going to move on to the next story, and the title is, Am I the asshole for not wanting to name our son after wife's dead brother? I was directed here upon the advice of a friend, after the issue escalated to a huge argument approximately 3 hours ago. That resulted in myself leaving our home to go to a buddy's house. I'm still here and unsure how to go about resolving this with my wife. Myself, 28 male, and my wife, 26 male, have been together for 10 years and married for 4 of those. My wife is pregnant with our first child, a boy, and she is due in early July. Now on to the issue that has arisen. My wife wants to name our son after her brother, who passed a little over a year ago. Her brother, we'll call him T, was her only sibling, and they were very close growing up, as they were only 2 years apart. However, her brother was not the most pleasant person. Her brother was a drug addict starting from age 14 to 15. He stole from everyone around him, including myself and my wife. He was abusive to every one of his partners and his child, and he served several years behind bars. T was also abusive to my wife and her parents. He had a stay away order from our home because he broke in while we were away and stole our TV, my wife's jewelry box, and one of my hunting rifles. T passed this last year in April from a drug overdose, and it affected my wife very deeply. It was her first major loss she had suffered, and she still attends therapy to help cope. When we found out we were having a boy, she immediately wanted the name to be T's name. I heavily disagreed, and I have offered many replacements. Other family names like her father or grandfather, but she will not budge. She wants our son to have the exact same as her brother, first and middle. She has even gone as far to say that if we name him something else, she will have it changed, or only call him by T. My final straw was when my wife ordered a blanket with T's name sewn into it for our son. I blew up and I told her I was not naming our child after a drug addict who took advantage of everyone around him. My wife blew up at me. She screamed at me to leave, threatened to call the police if I didn't. She called me a POS for talking about her dead brother like he was trash. I did leave. I told her I would attempt to speak to her again about this once we had both calmed down, and I apologized for speaking about T in a negative way. I'm getting calls nonstop from her family, calling me names for speaking about T and not wanting to honor him by naming our son after him. My family is on my side, her family is on her side, and my friends are split on that matter. So, Reddit strangers on the internet, I need your opinion on if I am indeed a massive asshole for not wanting this name for our child. I mean, I think that it's fine to, like, you guys should definitely be talking about what you want the name to be, and she shouldn't be insisting that this is going to be the name if that's not something that you're comfortable with. Do I think that, like, it is a very sad thing, and I'm not excusing abuse at all, that he was an abusive person, but, like, obviously being a drug addict has a lot to do with the terrible things and the way that you act. That's not an excuse for acting that way, but I definitely think that it was wrong for him to, like, blow up on her about that and, like, talk bad about him. But I don't think that it's right. Like, I think that they're both just, I don't think he's wrong for not wanting to name his kid after him, and I don't think that he's right to, I get it though, because honestly, like, yeah, he was super upset, and she was obviously acting in a way that was, like, honestly kind of scary, of being like, no, we're naming our kid this, and if we don't, then I'm gonna change it. Like, that's extreme. That's really not okay to be saying. And the blanket thing, like, that's crazy. Also, like, you can honor your brother in many ways. It doesn't mean you have to name your child after him. I understand, like, the sentiment of wanting to, but once your husband doesn't want that, like, there's compromise that you could do, or you just need to talk about what the other option is. Like, could you possibly just do a middle name and go on with that, or what? But, like, you saying that if you name your child a different name, you're still going to call him by your brother's name is really not okay. There's an update 3 months later. Hello, internet humans. Not sure if any of you remember my first post a few months ago, but I just logged on and saw a few messages, so I figured I would post an update. So, if you recall my first post, me and my wife were expecting a baby boy in early July, and our conflict was occurring over my wife wanting to name our son after her late brother. We got into a huge fight. Some names were called and threats were made, and I was led to this subreddit to ask advice and opinions of internet strangers. Well, a week after the post, I sat down with my wife, and we had a very long and difficult conversation. She broke down and admitted she was struggling more than she let on with the loss of her brother, and she told me she felt uncomfortable talking to me about it due to my feelings towards him and how he lived his life. I was devastated, to say the least. I have never felt like such a horrible partner. I was selfish. I failed to see him as anything more than his mistakes, and I failed to support my wife through his death. It was a long talk with lots of tears, and we both agreed to be more open in the future and less judgmental. We started attending therapy together less than 2 weeks after that, and we have been going ever since, once a week. It was rough at first, but it has helped tremendously in dealing with the bumps in the road of our marriage. As for our son, we came to an agreement on a name after lots of long discussion. A first name we both adored, and her brother's middle name, just spelled differently. A good compromise for both of us, and it was my son's own name that no one before him had carried. We were both happy. Then on July 3rd, 2022, my wife delivered a beautiful, healthy 8-pound baby girl. To say that we were shocked would be an understatement. My daughter came home the next day, and since then, I am still in awe of how we created something so perfect. We didn't figure out a name until she was a week old, but I'm happy to share that Eleanor Shea is what we came up with. We're still adjusting to life with an infant, but so far it has been nothing short of amazing. Thank you for your past advice, internet friends, and strangers. See, that's what needed to happen. A long, nice talk and a compromise. And thank God you got there. Thank God you got there, because that was really kind of scary with the wife like demanding that and being like so aggressive about it. But dang, that must be crazy to like think you're having one gender and then have a different gender, especially if you like, because I know a lot of people tend to get like a lot of clothes for a specific gender before, if they figure out the gender, they'll like get all the clothes and all, like they'll even like decorate the nursery to be like more that, like, you know, like blue or pink or whatever. So that would be crazy. I would be livid, because if I had bought all of the stuff to go with like expecting to have a baby boy, and then I have a baby girl, and I have to, what am I going to do? I have all of this boy stuff, and then I'm going to hate that. And also to have like a name picked out and everything. I wonder what the name was for the son. I wish they had told us. Oh my God, there's so many updates. Holy poopity doopity. Okay, 1 year after the first update. I'm just here to vent my frustrations and scream into the void about my current situation. I can't talk to anyone in my personal life about this. My wife is cheating on me. My wife is cheating, and she has been for the past 2 months. I just don't understand. I don't even know where to start to begin to understand. We have a beautiful home, stable careers, we're not financially struggling, no drug or alcohol abuse. We attend therapy together. Our daughter is healthy, perfect. Our 6-year wedding anniversary is 3 months from tomorrow. We've been together 11 years. I've spent the last 2 days examining everything about us under a microscope, trying to find a crack. Where I went wrong. When did she become unhappy? When did this life, our life, become unsatisfactory for her? For her to step outside of our marriage with some random guy she met on Facebook. For her to throw our family away. I just don't understand. I found out on Monday, completely by chance. My daughter's tablet was dead. I grabbed my wife's iPad so she could watch her nighttime videos and go to sleep. Wife isn't home right now. She's on a trip and won't be back for another 4 days. I keep hearing message notifications and dinging on her iPad while my daughter has it. So I took it to turn it on silent, only to see a man's name I didn't recognize with a little winky face next to it. I went through everything. They've done it all. Met up, spent the night together, went on dates. They even have a romantic cruise planned for next month. The same cruise she told me was a bachelorette trip with one of her friends. All of these outings that I encouraged. She told me they were with friends. I encouraged her. I was so proud that she was getting out there and becoming more social, since she expressed motherhood made her feel like a recluse. And after digging a little deeper, all of these new friends she's been out with don't even exist. All lies. They're characters she created to continue her relationship with this man. I feel like a complete and total idiot. I never second-guessed a lie she fed me. I gave her my 100% trust. We've been doing couples therapy for a year. We communicate, we go on dates, we get each other gifts. Our sex life was great. I never, not even for a second, would have suspected this. I don't know how to confront her with this. I don't want this. I don't want to split up our home. But I know that this is something therapy can't fix. I know myself well enough to know I'll never be able to trust her again. Do I just let go? Let her go be with this man who clearly makes her happier than I can? My entire existence is intertwined with her. How do I even begin to untangle that and separate? I have 4 more days to sit and overthink this. I genuinely don't know. And then there's additional info added. Thank you everyone for the advice. I'm trying to keep up with the comments and eventually will reply to everyone. Since posting and reading the comments, I've been working on getting all the messages, pictures, videos into a folder on my personal computer. I went through our home cameras and found that she's had him at our house several times, either picking her up or them swimming, amongst other things, in our pool together. The more I find, the sicker I feel. I have a lot of phone calls to make in the next few days and an appointment to get screened for STIs. I do want everyone to rest assured my daughter is mine. We had a DNA test done when she was an infant to scan for hereditary diseases that I carry. I'm going to reach out to my parents and fill them in so that they can babysit while I handle this for the next few days. Whoa. See, I never suspected that one. I never suspected that, actually. Like, not the plot twist. And there's 3 more updates. So we're about to find out a lot of tea. A lot of tea. I posted here almost a month ago venting my frustrations about discovering my wife's affair, and I received a magnitude of comments and messages filled with advice and kind words. For that, I thank everyone who took the time to comment or write me, and I'm sorry for anyone who related to my situation. I'm here with somewhat of an update, but mostly more venting. My life is upside down, and it feels good to get it all out somewhere. Sorry if a lot of this is rambling, and sorry for the length. After making my post, I took the advice of everyone and gathered up all the evidence and contacted lawyers in my area. I found a really great one and went ahead and started on divorce papers before my wife got home. I also got tested for any STIs and told my parents/best friend about the situation. I took my daughter to my parents so that I could have the alone time to mentally prepare myself to face my wife with this discovery. I rage cleaned a lot and cried a lot those past 2 days before she got back. I packed some of her stuff, but then unpacked it and cried more. I had it planned to lay out all the screenshots along with divorce papers on our dining room table and just sit and wait for her, but I didn't get the chance to do that. She was supposed to get home later in the afternoon on Sunday, but she ended up getting back around 6:30 that morning. She didn't call or text in hopes of surprising me. I was up drinking coffee, and you guessed it, crying, when she walked into the house. I didn't greet her. I just went and got the folders of evidence and divorce papers and gave them to her. I don't remember anything she said that day, but I just said I knew I wanted a divorce and I would keep the house as it was in my name solely. It hurt a lot. I wanted to hug her, but also scream at her. Lots of tears from her, lots of yelling at me. I didn't say anything. I told her we could discuss it at length with lawyers present once she accepted the situation and calmed down. I think someone called it a gray wall in the comments of my last post. Not entirely sure, but I tried to do my best to do that and not show any emotion or argue with her. It was really hard. Hardest thing I hope I'll ever have to do. She betrayed me, but I still felt awful making her cry. She left that day with some clothes and personal belongings and went to her parents. And my parents and best friend came to stay with me and my daughter. I had my lawyer arrange a meeting between us to discuss custody/belongings/money/everything else that following Tuesday. Well, Monday I got a call from my clinic to come and review the STI tests, and as it turns out, her parting gift to me is HSV2. I cannot describe in words how angry, sad, shattered I am. I'm still accepting it. I don't think I have yet, but I'm working on it. I know it's common, very common. It's not going to kill me, but it doesn't make it suck any less. I joined a support group on Facebook. Those people are great. Going into Tuesday with that knowledge was awful. I felt so much shame bringing that up in front of not only her, but both of our lawyers. I knew if I tried to discuss it with her privately, it wouldn't go well. Not with the amount of anger and sadness I had in my system. She never apologized. She was a different person on that day. I felt like I was looking into the eyes of a complete stranger. No emotion whatsoever. Divorce-wise, everything is cut and dry. We separated finances. The house is mine. We're just waiting the 90 days for it to finalize. There were no objections on her end. But, 1, she wants to terminate her parental rights over our daughter. I say once. She is terminating rights. At least trying to. She doesn't want her anymore. Our daughter. Our baby. I was effing blindsided. I'm still blindsided. My daughter is 1. Okay, wait, I'm gonna cry. Oh my God. My daughter is 1, but she loves her mama. Mama was her first word. She is 1. It's been 3 weeks, and the pain I have felt, the pain for my daughter, for my family, has been indescribable. I don't know who she is anymore. I don't know what changed or when it changed, but it terrifies me. I feel like my entire life was pulled out from under me. I haven't talked to her per lawyer's advice and my own fear of what I would say. She hasn't seen our daughter. She told me that day that she didn't want to. She didn't want any pictures from our home, any memories, just her clothes and electronics. I don't understand any of it. I don't think I ever will. We have to go to court for her petition to terminate rights, and I don't want to look at her. I just can't accept this as reality right now, not after everything. I'm trying as hard as I possibly can to keep a positive outlook on everything and be strong for my baby and my family. But this has been so hard. I hope a year from now I can look back and say I survived that. But right now it feels impossible to even see next week. I'm not suicidal, so don't take it as that. I'm just emotionally, mentally, physically demolished. Absolutely demolished. Okay, sorry. That really got me. The terminating the rights with the little baby. Like, I was just thinking about a little 1-year-old baby. Like, that's so sad. I mean, obviously, I think it's the right thing. Like, I think that if a parent isn't going to be a good parent, I think that's the best thing to do. But it still doesn't mean that that's not, like, terrible and sad. That's so upsetting. I don't know why, like, that makes me so sad and upset for that little girl, that little tiny girl. Okay. 8 months after the last update. Hi there, for anyone who has messaged me and the loads of comments I have received regarding my past venting on this account. Apologies, first off. I genuinely kind of forgot I had it. It's been around 8-ish months since I posted here about my upside down situation, and a lot of people messaged me in that time wanting to know how I was and what unfolded, and I really appreciate you strangers for all of the kind messages. It genuinely means a lot, and I'm sorry I haven't replied or anything. My life has been such a whirlwind these past few months. It's hard to believe that was that long ago. To sum up the sad stuff, first off, my divorce was finalized without any hiccups or holdups. I'm still in the process of trying to sell our old house, but in the meantime, we moved to a new state. My ex is still in the process of petitioning for termination of parental rights. I've only seen her 3 times since moving, and it has been to fly out for court. I was granted temporary full custody in the process, per her request and suggestion, and she was not mandated any visitation and has denied any offer of it. She's not seen my daughter in 7 months. She's requested not to. I don't know what else she's been up to or if she's still with her boyfriend or not. Since the divorce, it has been in my best interest of my mental health to keep the contact as minimal as possible, and she's done the same. I've offered many chances for her to come visit with my daughter, whether it be a video call or flying out, and before we moved, I asked weekly, but it was always a no. Her parents still video call with my daughter, and we're hoping that they can fly out over the summer and spend some time with her. They've been cut off by my ex as well. I'm not sure what changed, but I can't change it back, and I'm accepting it mostly. I wish her well in all future endeavors. Now for the happy stuff that has happened. Firstly, I am a proud Arizonian now. Never saw myself moving here, but we have loved it so far. My parents packed up and came with us, and I don't think I've ever seen them so happy. My daughter is doing amazing. She will be 2 years old in July. She is the smartest, funniest toddler I've ever met. She knows her ABCs, can count to 20 without help, loves animals and bugs especially. She thinks farts and a cow mooing are the definition of comedy. And she doesn't know, but she's been my biggest motivator to heal from this whole ordeal and be my best self. Like, I genuinely don't know how I helped make such an awesome kid. The more her personality grows, the more in awe I am of just how cool she is. I could talk for days about her, so I'll cap it here before this ends up being a Harry Potter-length post. LOL. As for myself, I'm in therapy and have been throughout these 8 months, and I'm in a much better headspace. I'm working on getting back on top of my health, as I did put on about 30 stress pounds. I'll get there eventually, but I'm not sweating it too much. I've not dated or tried to, and I don't think I will anytime soon. I've adjusted to being a healthy single parent pretty okay for the most part. I credit that to my family and friends more than anything because they've been a huge support system throughout this. There's still really hard moments that have happened, and I know there are more to come, but I'll just roll with it as I have this and hope to come out on top. This is not the end of the world for me, even if it feels like or felt like it in the moment. The sun will rise tomorrow, birds will chirp, and all will be well. Thanks to my therapist for that. Those 2 sentences have helped me immensely. Sorry this hasn't ended up being so long. I should really pick up journaling. Maybe a blog or something, lol. But thank you again to everyone who took the time to give me advice in the hardest time of my life. And thanks again if you read this. I genuinely appreciate it. So happy for him, first of all. And second of all, I kind of forgot that he said in the previous post about the HSV too, which is so like, that's so hard to find out, especially from like cheating. But I do think that it's crazy how stigmatized it is. Like, everyone thinks that when you get HSV too, that your life is like over and it's like a death sentence. And it's been like, I feel like ingrained in a lot of people's heads, like in society, that it's just the worst thing that could ever possibly happen to you. But like, it's so manageable, and exactly like he said, like, it's not gonna kill you. It's really like the only thing that's different is the fact that you have to like manage it all, like, for the rest of your life. But people literally act like it's the actual end of the world, and I'm sure that it's like, I feel like that makes it so much harder for people to deal with. Like, it's, people get it and then they think like, I'm disgusting, like never, no one's ever gonna love me again. Like, that's just so sad, and I feel like it needs to be destigmatized. So, because it's really common. Like, it says around 846 million people aged between 15 and 49 are living with genital herpes infections, more than 1 in 5 of this age group globally. So 1 in 5, at least one person each second, 42 million people annually, is estimated to acquire a new genital herpes infection. Most of the time, these infections cause no or few symptoms. However, for some people, they lead to painful genital sores and blisters that can recur throughout life, causing significant discomfort and often requiring multiple healthcare visits. More than 200 people aged 15 to 49 suffered at least one symptomatic episode in 2020. And that's so crazy. Like, I've only learned about kind of like more about HSV2 in the past few years, but before learning that it's like very common and not that big of a deal and very like manageable, I thought that it was like the worst thing ever. Like, I was genuinely terrified, like so scared if I was gonna like get it, always so scared, which I think it's fine to be like nervous to get. Obviously, you don't want to get an STI. Like, that's not the goal. Like, I'm not out here trying to catch like an STI. So I was honestly not only just scared of that, but like, it just sounds so scary because people are like, oh yeah, it's like it never goes away. Like, it's something that you have to live with for the rest of your life and all of that. And so that like just makes you so scared. But I mean, even just like other STIs that there is like cures for, that you can literally just take a pill and get it, like make it go away. I still was so nervous about getting. So it wasn't even just that, but I feel like so many people are so like, which I'm not even like super educated about it or anything, but I've just learned a lot more about how like common it is. And also, the thing that really confuses me, so my best friend from high school that passed away, I talk about her a lot. She was born with cold sores all over her face, like really bad cold sores all over her face, and like nearly died because it was like an autoimmune thing. I don't really remember what the whole story was, but throughout her whole life, she would get like these really big cold sores once in a while. And like, she would get them on her forehead, she would get them like anywhere, really. Mostly on her face though. And it was crazy. Like, and it looked really painful as well. But what's like, because HSV1 can turn into HSV2, right? Like, if you, oh, so I'm wrong. No, that's actually not the case. Okay. I I know, for some reason, I don't know why I thought that, but it does say that HSV1 can cause genital herpes through oral genital contact, like oral sex. In this case, HSV1 is infecting the genital area, but it's still HSV1 and not HSV2. Okay, that makes sense. But what's the difference? It's just more common to get it on your mouth and stuff. You can, yeah, I guess that's it, because they're two different viruses, even though they're closely related. I don't know why I always thought that HSV1 could just like turn into HSV2 if you like put it on your pee or something. I don't know. But anyways, let's destigmatize HSV2. Okay, seriously. All right. This is the last update, and it's the newest update, July 18th, 2025, 15 months after the last update. My post history sums up the utter hell I went through a while ago, kind of just posting as a response to messages and an update. Despite everything, I am well. I haven't logged into this account in a while as I almost completely forgot about it, but I saw through my email notifications that I had quite a few messages, so I popped in to check. Mostly people wanting updates regarding my ex and asking how I'm doing. Thank you. Firstly, to all the kind strangers who sent very positive and uplifting messages. I apologize for not responding to everyone at the time. As far as my ex is concerned, it has been total silence. I stopped sending pictures/updates on my daughter a few months ago as they weren't responded to, and I wasn't mandated to. Our custody case/her petition is still in limbo with the court system back in her state, so we are still under the original order from our divorce. I don't know what she's up to or what her personal life entails. Her parents still come for visits with my daughter and talk regularly with her, but as far as my ex goes, they are about as in the dark as I am. I wish her well. Yes, I still love Arizona. I have nice neighbors, my daughter has a lot of friends in daycare, and my parents are also doing great. I switched careers in November, took a little bit of a pay cut, but I'm home earlier and I have a lot of very friendly coworkers. Our dog is doing well, and yes, she grew out of chewing. We actually adopted a cat in March of this year, and they've become great pals, and my daughter adores him. My daughter is thriving. She's smart, funny, loving, and creative. She loves animals, swimming, all things Bluey, and she's recently developed a strong appreciation for Dolly Parton in every song she sings. LOL. Yes, I'm still in therapy, and I'm doing really well. I have accepted the past for what it is and mostly moved forward. It hasn't come easy, and I know there are going to be a lot of difficult conversations in the future, but right now things are good. I've been trying to put in more effort into my physical health, and I've been testing out different hobbies that align with my schedule and give me something to do that I enjoy. I do not enjoy hiking or running. No, I'm not dating. I don't have the time or desire to right now, and I'm okay with that. Maybe one day when I feel more stable and more comfortable introducing anyone into my daughter's life, but for right now, she needs stability more than I need a girlfriend. I think that about sums it up for anyone curious or checking in. Not much substance, but I appreciate my boring life these days. This is a post that is pretty much a synopsis of my journal, but it feels nice to have it out somewhere for people to see. My situation sucked, and now it's a lot better. A lot better. I hope anyone else going through a dark time can make it out on top and relatively unscathed. And if anyone is currently going through dark times, please feel free to reach out. I love it so much when it's like a terrible situation and then it like turns out that this person is doing better than ever. And it just like I feel like it gives so much hope for people that are possibly going through similar situations or in dark situations, that like if this guy can make it out of something like this is such a terrible situation, then like you can also make it out of your dark time. And I feel like it's just so important to see situations and scenarios like this, even though he had to take a big hit. It's really inspiring for people going through dark times. Like I know that stories like this would really help me in my dark times, and just seeing that it can get better. And now I've like experienced it myself. Like I've hit rock bottom previously with my mental health, and I look back and think about how like sad I was back then and how happy I am now and how content I am now with my life, that I never thought back then that I would ever be where I am now. Like I never thought that I would be this happy and this content with my life. And of course, I still struggle. Like, I'm not saying that it's like a perfect and I'm just like so jolly every day. Like, I still have things that I struggle with and think about a lot. Like, it just obviously is not to the same level that it was. I'm like so much more mentally healthy and happy. I still think about things sometimes that really bother me. Like, I don't know why. I just always think about like that I'm not experiencing enough things, that I'm not like traveling enough, that I'm not doing enough things that are like experiencing the world, and that I'm going to miss out, and that tomorrow I'm going to be like 85 years old and like be like, wow, I never got to see any of these countries or any of these places or any of these states because I was so worried about like money and time and travel and all this stuff, when in reality, like I just need to like get myself. I mean, at this point, like, I do have the funds and stuff to travel. I'm not like freaking rolling in it, but I definitely could have a like budget for travel more than I used to be able to. But I still like have been working through my mindset with money. It's definitely gotten a lot better. Like, sometimes I let myself buy things, not expensive things, but like yesterday, I put together a little boo basket for my friend because we were having a movie night and we had like a little Halloween movie night, and I bought a lot of Halloween decorations too. And I put together a whole boo basket for her. And like, I love giving gifts, but like, I've never been able to give gifts, and nothing crazy was in it or anything. It was like a lot of snacks and then like some wicked pajamas, some cute little like Halloween socks, a lot of like stuff from Trader Joe's, like the pumpkin spice Chardonnay, like anything fall themed and stuff like that. And it was really fun to put together. I love putting gifts together like that. But yeah, I don't know how I got into that, but oh, now I know. The top comment says, "That's so weird how the wife just suddenly changed like that. I wonder what happened." And then someone said, "It wasn't any one thing. It was a cocktail of grief, having a daughter instead of a son, and probably drugs. Grief does some pretty insane things to a person's mind. Then she was banking on having a son and naming him after her brother as a way to cope. When she got a daughter instead, fully dissociated the daughter as her child, and then the rest of her behavior is kind of textbook addict walking away from their support system. Sad, yes, but ultimately OOP is within his rights to decide to close the door behind him. It's going to be hard for his daughter when she's old enough to be told what happened." Aw, that's so sad. It's honestly sad for the wife as well. Like, you can look at it and be like, you're a terrible person for doing that. But at the same time, it's like, it is for the best of the child to not be involved if you don't want to be a parent to that child, even though it's a really hard thing to like think about, a little child being abandoned by her mother that like willingly wanted her and had her. But she must be going through a really hard time as well. Like, she's also, that doesn't excuse any of her behaviors or her cheating or anything like that, but it's still like sad for a person to be in that situation and be going through like a hard time in their life. And I can't imagine going through the grief of losing your brother and all of that jazz. Not jazz. I don't know why I said that. But anyways, that's the last story that I have for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Updates Only. I know you guys always do. You love the Updates Only. But I am going to go get ready for happy hour with my boyfriend's mom because my boyfriend's out of town right now, and she texted me randomly yesterday and asked me if I wanted to go to happy hour with her and her friend. So I was like, sure, girl, I'll come. Sure, girl, I'll be there. I've never been to this restaurant that we're going to, and it's like an interesting choice, but I'll have to look at what's on the menu. Anyways, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you. Thank you very much. Bye. Love you.
Storytime Society is now available on all listening platforms. If you are on any of those listening platforms, I would really appreciate it if you rated me 5 stars. Thanks for all the support.
Love you guys. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.